Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into an absolutely wild cinematic journey. Imagine a protagonist who has literally failed 99 past lifetimes and is now using all that brutal experience to fuel his final ruthless attempt at surviving a high-stakes death game. If you're a fan of the underdog turning into an absolute calculating mastermind, you are going to be glued to this one. We're going to break down the timeline, the insane power scaling, and the incredible twists of Ruhan's 100th regression. Picture this. You're dropped right into the chaos at a gripping 5-second countdown. As the world celebrates the new year, time suddenly freezes. The crowd is totally confused, but our protagonist, Ryuhwan, who goes by the in-game nickname Black Scythe, well, he's entirely calm. You see, he's been through this exact terrifying scenario 99 times before. So ask yourself, what would you do? For Black Scythe, the answer is simple: dominate. And the sheer scale of this nightmare? It's staggering. Out of nowhere, an arrogant angel appears in the sky, forcing 1.8 billion human players into a sadistic, multi-dimensional survival game. The brutal first mission is just to eliminate 100 goblins. But the catch is horrifying. Only half of the players in the entire world will be allowed to survive this round. Everyone else? Permanently erased. Now here is where extreme experience literally becomes a superpower. While everyone else is freezing in terror or running for their lives, Black Scythe steps forward bare-handed. He has absolute preparation. He brutally, efficiently slaughters his quota of 100 goblins without even flinching. His speed and precision secure him first place across all regions, snagging him top-tier rewards, including this mysterious time reversal rune. This right here builds the absolute foundation of his overpowered status. Because Black Scythe has hit the 100 regression maximum limit, the system actually glitches when he tries to use that time reversal rune. Instead of sending him back in time again, it grants him a unique game-breaking title, the Last Traveler. This is an absolute trump card that gives him a one-time, full health resurrection upon death. He essentially starts a death game with a secret extra life. So, the crucial point to notice here is the sheer contrast in mindsets. Normal players are panicking, screaming, getting completely wiped out by basic goblins, but Black Scythe? He's so terrifyingly competent that after finishing first, he intentionally provokes the game's administrator, that arrogant angel from earlier, into a private meeting just to complain that his first-place reward wasn't good enough. It's a wildly bold move that sets the stage for a massive plot twist. Away from the other players, the angel thinks she's going to secretly execute him for his disrespect. But Black Scythe completely turns the tables. With ruthless efficiency, he dodges her attack, physically rips off her wings, and delivers a cold, calculated strike directly to her heart. As his chilling quote shows, he views her as nothing more than an insect and a source of information. There is literally zero hesitation. And this unprecedented kill, it completely shatters the game's intended progression. He earns the first Angel Slayer title, a slaughter rune that wildly boosts his stats, a massive 3x experience buff for the next round, and the ultra-rare Angel's Blood. This specific consumable item is an absolute game-changer. It's the key to unlocking a hidden, unique character class later on. We're only in round 1, and he is already dominating the system's mechanics. But the danger doesn't magically stop when the round ends. The players wake up in the real world at 6 a.m. only to discover a terrifying truth on the morning news. Their in-game stats and weapons actually carry over into reality. Society is instantly on the brink of collapse. Black Scythe already knows this from his past lives, so his immediate, absolute priority is locating and protecting his vulnerable, blind younger brother, Ryuhwan. Which leads us to an incredibly satisfying moment of real-world retribution. A gang of school bullies, led by this arrogant delinquent named Tayu, has been tormenting Ryuhwan. When they try to attack Black Scythe, he just uses his newly acquired in-game dexterity to effortlessly dismantle them. In a cold, protective fury, he systematically breaks Tayu's fingers, making sure the bully will never be able to strike his brother again. You know, his 99 past lives aren't just for combat. They're the ultimate tool to manipulate the real world, too. Knowing the global economy is about to completely collapse, he buys lottery tickets using winning numbers he straight up memorized from past regressions. He wins first place 4 times, pulling in around 60 billion won. He instantly rents a fortified, top-floor penthouse to serve as a safe zone and dumps funds into crypto to multiply his wealth before the market crashes. Exactly 1 month later, round 2 pulls them back in. But wait, the mission unexpectedly shifts from physical combat to pure politics. The players are told they have 3 hours to vote for a regional representative who gets absolute command authority over everyone else. While the terrified players instantly start arguing and fighting for power, Black Scythe just ignores the whole thing. He knows there's a hidden side mission in this round: acquire a class. Now, to get that class, he needs to level up fast, and his stat allocation is everything. Most normal players just dump all their points into strength, but Black Scythe heavily prioritizes dexterity. This maximizes his movement, dodge chance, and attack speed, meaning he can hunt the hidden monsters in the forest at blazing speeds while everyone else is still busy arguing over votes. Utilizing that 3x experience buff he got from the angel, he absolutely tears through the forest monsters, hitting level 10 before anyone else even realizes there are monsters out there to hunt. Once he hits level 10, he downs the angel's blood he saved from round 1. Boom. This triggers a server-wide announcement. He has awakened as the game's one and only Reaper, gaining an epic Reaper scythe and massive, unique stat boosts. So, why is this class upgrade so crucial? Let's look back at the voting area. A ruthless, arrogant gang leader named Cho Jong-sik has bullied his way into the representative role, getting the authority skill to force players to obey him. Naturally, he plans to use it to execute Black Scythe. But here's the massive catch. Authority commands are completely useless against a player who actually holds a class. The gangster's ultimate weapon is rendered entirely worthless against our protagonist. But Black Scythe isn't just relying on raw power. He's a master manipulator. During his forest hunt, he spots a famous actress, Sue Arin, and her bodyguard being attacked by a gang of thugs. He ruthlessly dissects the thugs, literally cutting them to pieces to save the pair. But don't mistake this for kindness. He calculates that the bodyguard's connections to a powerful real-world corporate leader known as the Heavenly Demon will be a highly valuable asset for his future endgame team. When he jumps back to the real world, his prep work goes into overdrive. First, he tracks down a former classmate, Yuri, who acquired a rare buffer class, strategically bringing her onto his team. Then, he masterfully times the market, selling his Bitcoin for hundreds of millions right before the crash, and reinvests it into the Heavenly Demon's corporate stocks to secure future leverage. Finally, he takes his massive in-game gold reserves to a hidden shop to buy an epic skeletal necklace, an item that infinitely stacks his attack speed. And that brings us to the terrifying reality of round 3. When the players are summoned back, the stakes skyrocket. The angel happily announces that out of the remaining global player base, only 1/4, just 25%, will survive this upcoming phase. The sheer scale of the impending massacre just sends a massive shockwave of despair right through the participants. So round 3 is essentially a massive siege defense. The players are trapped in a ruined village and have to defend a central relic from 5 waves of increasingly brutal monsters. But here's the brilliant twist. Because it's a free-for-all, the players immediately realize that the arrogant gang leader, Jong-sik, is highly vulnerable now. Without his absolute authority to protect him endlessly, he instantly becomes a prime target for revenge from the very people he bullied in the last round. As the gangster completely panics, looking for a way to survive the angry mob of players, Black Scythe walks right up to him with a chilling deal. He offers the desperate gangster absolute protection from both the monsters and the players, but in exchange for absolute servitude. He basically wants the guy to become his obedient meat shield. But the gangster's foolish pride gets the better of him, and he violently rejects the lifeline. Leaving the gangster to his miserable fate, Black Scythe heads straight to the front gate. Completely solo, he holds the primary choke point against the monster waves. Using the attack speed buffs from his skeletal necklace, he becomes a literal blender of death, effortlessly slaughtering thousands of goblins all by himself. This massive experience farm pushes him straight up to level 20. And hitting level 20, that unlocks the Reaper's exclusive Night of Death ability. This visually stunning power lets him plunge the entire battlefield into an artificial pitch-black night within a 500-meter radius. And because his Reaper class gets a massive 50% attack speed boost during nighttime, he transforms into this untraceable, blindingly fast shadow, completely decimating the higher-level monster waves. It's awesome. The contrast across the battlefield is just staggering. While normal players are bleeding out, screaming, barely surviving the waves, Black Scythe is completely unbothered, totally overpowered, and entirely ruthless. Eventually, that arrogant gang leader, battered, bleeding, and literally moments away from death, crawls toward Black Scythe pathetically begging to accept the deal of servitude he had rejected earlier. But Black Scythe simply looks down at him and delivers this chilling response. "I told you before that I don't care what happens to you." He coldly ignores the dying man, leaving him to be ripped apart. This perfectly encapsulates his 100th regression character development. He's not a hero. Actually, he is a hyper-calculated survivor who has completely stripped away his mercy to ensure he makes it to the very end. And that brings us to the end of this explainer. We want to leave you with this provocative thought. If Ryu Huan is already a godlike entity by round 3, manipulating the real-world economy and soloing armies in the game, what mind-bending escalations await in the remaining 17 rounds? How will the system try to break the one man who already knows all its secrets? Thanks for learning with us today, and keep exploring these incredible stories.